Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Ava Remington, urologist and men's health specialist. I've been practicing for over 20 years now, and I gotta tell you, one of the most rewarding parts of my career has been helping men understand what their bodies are truly capable of, especially as they get older. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. Hands-free orgasms. Now, before you click away or raise an eyebrow, hear me out. These are real. They're backed by research. And honestly, for men over 50, over 60, even into your 70s and beyond, this might be one of the most valuable things you learn this year. I had a patient a few years back, a retired engineer from Ohio, 72 years old. He came into my office frustrated because things just weren't working the way they used to. He told me, "Doc, I feel like my body's giving up on me." And I said to him, "Your body isn't giving up. You just haven't learned everything it can do yet." 6 months later, he came back with a grin on his face and said that was the best advice anyone ever gave him. That's what I want for all of you watching today. Before we get started, do me a favor and drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I love seeing how far this message reaches. Last time I checked, we had folks tuning in from Florida, Michigan, England, Nigeria, India, Germany, and somebody even wrote in from a yurt in Mongolia. That blew my mind. So wherever you are, let me know. I want to hear from you. Now let's get into it. What exactly is a hands-free orgasm? It's pretty much what it sounds like. You're reaching climax without using your hands to directly stimulate yourself. Instead, you're using things like movement, breathing, muscle engagement, imagination, or specialized tools to get there. Your hands stay free to rest, to touch other parts of your body, or to connect with your partner. And here's something I want to be really clear about because I know a lot of you out there have been told that certain kinds of exploration are weird or unhealthy or something to be ashamed of. I hear it from patients all the time. They come in and they almost whisper when they ask me about this stuff. One of my viewers recently told me that watching these videos was the first time he felt unjudged and encouraged to get back into what he was enjoying. He said he'd heard from so many places that it was bad for him or potentially harmful, and he'd basically shut down that whole part of his life. That breaks my heart, because there is absolutely nothing wrong with exploring your body at any age. In fact, I'd argue it becomes more important as you get older, not less. So why should you, as a man in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond, even consider trying a hands-free orgasm? Let me give you 5 solid reasons. First, it breaks the routine. Look, if you've been doing things the same way for 30 or 40 years, your body gets used to it. The sensations become predictable. Changing things up wakes your nervous system back up. It's like taking a different route to the grocery store. Suddenly you notice things you never saw before. Same principle applies here. Your body has pathways of pleasure that you've probably never even explored, and shaking up the routine is how you find them. Second, it works with your body as it is right now. This is huge for older men. Maybe your grip strength isn't what it used to be. Maybe you've got arthritis in your hands or wrists. Maybe you've had a surgery or you're dealing with some nerve issues. A hands-free approach doesn't rely on manual dexterity or strength. It meets you where you are. I've had patients with Parkinson's, with joint replacements, with all kinds of physical limitations tell me that learning hands-free techniques gave them back a part of their life they thought was gone forever. Third, it expands what your body is capable of feeling. Every time you experience pleasure in a new way, your nervous system adapts. You're literally training your brain and body to access more sensation. And here's what the research shows. This is important. A study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that men who engaged in diverse forms of sexual stimulation reported higher overall sexual satisfaction and better erectile function compared to men who relied on a single method. So this isn't just about novelty, it's about neuroplasticity. Your brain can still learn new tricks, I promise you that. Fourth, it engages your whole body. When you're not relying on just one set of movements with one hand, you start activating muscles and nerve pathways that normally stay quiet. Your pelvic floor, your core, your breathing muscles, even the nerves along your spine all get involved. The result is what many men describe as a fuller, deeper orgasm that moves through the entire body rather than staying localized. Some of my patients have described it as the difference between hearing a song through a phone speaker versus a full surround sound system. Same song, completely different experience. Fifth, it can transform your relationship. If you've got a partner, bringing these discoveries into your intimate life together can be a game changer. I've had couples married 30, 40 years come back and tell me it was like a second honeymoon. One viewer told me that the techniques from my videos literally saved his marriage. His wife was blown away. That kind of feedback is why I do what I do. When knowledge turns into deeper connection, that's the best kind of success story. All right, so how do you actually do it? I'm going to walk you through 5 methods, and I want you to approach this with patience and curiosity. You might not get there on the first try, and that's completely normal. This isn't a performance test. Think of it as a playful exploration. You're getting to know your body in a new way, and there's no deadline and no scorecard. Method number 1, pelvic floor engagement, also known as Kegel exercises. Now, most of you have probably heard of Kegels, but you might think they're just for women or just for bladder control. Wrong on both counts. Your pelvic floor muscles are directly involved in orgasm. They're the muscles that contract rhythmically when you climax. So here's what you do. First, find those muscles. Next time you're urinating, try to stop the flow midstream. Those muscles you just squeezed, that's your pelvic floor. Now, once you know where they are, you can exercise them anywhere. Sitting in your recliner, driving to the store, watching the ball game. Start with sets of 10 contractions, holding each one for about 5 seconds, then releasing for 5 seconds. Do 3 sets a day. After a few weeks of building strength, try this. Lie down somewhere comfortable, relax your whole body, and begin contracting and releasing those muscles rhythmically. Start slow, then gradually increase the speed and intensity. Combine it with deep breathing. Inhale as you release. Exhale as you squeeze. Many men find that after building this practice over several weeks, the rhythmic contractions alone can build to a crescendo that leads to orgasm. It's subtle, it's discreet, and it's incredibly effective. Plus, stronger pelvic floor muscles mean better bladder control and firmer erections. So even if the orgasm part takes time, you're getting health benefits from day one. Method number 2, orgasmic breathing. This one might sound a little out there if you haven't tried it, but stick with me. Deep, intentional breathing is one of the most powerful tools you have, and it's completely free. Here's the technique. Lie down comfortably, close your eyes. Begin taking slow, deep breaths into your lower belly. Not shallow chest breaths, but deep abdominal breaths that make your stomach rise and fall. As you breathe, bring your awareness to your pelvic area. Imagine your breath flowing down into that region on the inhale and spreading warmth throughout your body on the exhale. Gradually deepen the breaths. Let your body respond naturally. You might feel tingling, warmth, or subtle waves of sensation. Don't force anything. Just stay present and keep breathing. Some practitioners of tantric breathing describe a cycle where the breath carries sexual energy up the spine and back down, creating a loop of increasing sensation. One of my viewers shared that he'd combined breath work with meditation and visualization, and he was genuinely surprised that he hadn't discovered it earlier in his life. He'd been exploring massage and other sensual experiences for years, but the breathing component was what unlocked everything. The beautiful thing about this method is that it requires nothing but you and a quiet space. No equipment, no supplements, no partner necessary. Just your breath and your awareness. Method number 3, grinding and pressure techniques. This is probably the most intuitive method for most men. Instead of using your hands, you use your body weight and movement to create stimulation. You can use a firm pillow, a rolled up towel, or even the mattress itself. Position yourself so that you're applying gentle, rhythmic pressure to your pelvic area. Move your hips slowly and deliberately. This engages your hip flexors, your glutes, your core, and your thighs. It's a bit of a workout too, which is a nice bonus. The key here is rhythm and patience. Start slow and let the sensations build naturally. Don't rush it. Pay attention to what angles and pressures feel best. Every man's body is different, so what works for your buddy might not work for you. That's fine. This is your exploration. Some men find that combining this with the breathing technique from method 2 creates a powerful synergy. The movement provides physical stimulation, while the breathing amplifies the sensation and spreads it through the body. Method number 4, water stimulation. The gentle pressure from a shower head or bath faucet can create incredibly delicate, nuanced sensations. A handheld shower head with adjustable settings is ideal. The pulsating settings in particular can provide rhythmic stimulation without any manual effort at all. If you've got a jetted bathtub, that's another option. Position yourself near one of the jets and let the water do the work. The warmth of the water also helps relax your muscles and increase blood flow to the area, which is especially helpful for older men who might deal with circulation issues. This method is great because it's completely private, it's easy to incorporate into your existing routine, and the warm water creates a naturally relaxing environment. Relaxation is key for hands-free orgasm. The more tense and goal-oriented you are, the harder it gets. The more relaxed and present you are, the easier everything flows. Method number 5, imagination and guided audio. Your brain is, without question, the most powerful sexual organ you have. I know that sounds like something you'd read on a bumper sticker, but it's neurologically accurate. The same brain regions that activate during physical stimulation also light up during vivid sexual fantasy. Some men can reach orgasm through imagination alone. One of my viewers commented that he can do it just with his mind in just a few seconds, even while walking. Now that's an advanced skill, and it takes practice to develop, but it shows you what's possible. For most people, the path to mental orgasm starts with guided audio. There are audio tracks available online specifically designed to help you relax deeply and build arousal through suggestion and visualization. You listen with headphones, follow the guidance, and let your mind and body respond. These can be a fantastic starting point, especially if you're someone who tends to get distracted or has trouble staying present during intimate moments. The audio gives your mind something to focus on while your body does the rest. This method is also perfect for men who might have physical limitations that make the other methods challenging. If your body has restrictions, your mind doesn't have to. Now, here's a bonus approach that I didn't include in the main 5, but I want to mention because several of my viewers have brought it up. Hands-free toys. There are devices designed specifically to be used without your hands. Wearable vibrating rings, suction-based sleeves that can be mounted or positioned against a surface, and remote-controlled toys that a partner can operate. These can be wonderful tools, especially for couples looking to add something new. One of my viewers from Florida shared that he exclusively uses a hands-free silicone sleeve and has found a routine that works great for him. If you go this route, just make sure whatever you're using is body safe, made from medical-grade materials, and that you're paying attention to circulation and skin health. Safety always comes first. I want to take a moment to talk about patience because I think this is where a lot of men get tripped up. We live in a culture that's very results-oriented. You want to try something, you want it to work, and you want it to work right now. But your body, especially as it ages, doesn't always cooperate with that timeline. And that's okay. If you try one of these methods and nothing happens the first time, that doesn't mean it doesn't work. It means you're learning. Your nervous system is building new connections. Your pelvic floor is getting stronger. Your awareness is expanding. All of that is progress, even if it doesn't end in orgasm on day 1. Be kind to yourself through this process. Pleasure is meant to be expansive, not stressful. If a technique doesn't click the first time, take a break. Come back to it another day. Sometimes the more relaxed you are, the easier everything becomes. And I'll tell you something I've observed over 20 years of practice. The men who have the most success with these techniques are the ones who approach it with curiosity rather than pressure. They're not trying to prove anything. They're just exploring, and that mindset makes all the difference. I also want to encourage you to share these discoveries with your partner if you have one. I know that can feel vulnerable, especially for men of a certain generation who weren't exactly raised to talk openly about this stuff. But the couples who communicate about pleasure, who explore together, who stay curious about each other, those are the couples who maintain intimacy well into their later years. You don't have to have a big dramatic conversation about it. You can just say, "Hey, I learned something interesting. Want to try it together?" You might be surprised at the response you get. One more thing I want to address before I wrap up. Some of you might be wondering whether any of these methods are dangerous or could cause harm. The short answer is no, as long as you're using common sense. Listen to your body. If something hurts, stop. If something doesn't feel right, stop. Don't use devices that restrict circulation for extended periods. Don't force your body into positions that cause pain. And if you have any specific medical conditions, particularly anything involving your prostate, your cardiovascular system, or your nervous system, check with your doctor before trying anything new. That's not me being overly cautious. That's me being a responsible physician who wants you to enjoy this safely for years to come. So to bring it all together, hands-free orgasms are real, they're healthy, and they're an incredible way to expand your understanding of your own body at any age. They can reinvigorate your solo time, teach your nervous system to experience pleasure in deeper and more expansive ways, create longer and more full body sensations, and strengthen your intimate connection with your partner. For older men especially, these techniques offer a path to pleasure that doesn't depend on grip strength, stamina, or any of the physical attributes that might have changed over the years. Your body is still capable of extraordinary things, you just have to be willing to explore. And for those of you who want some natural support on the physical side, things like circulation, stamina, and overall vitality, I've got 2 recommendations that my patients have found helpful over the years. For a mild boost in blood flow and erection quality, I recommend an organic watermelon extract that's rich in L-citrulline. It supports nitric oxide production and healthy circulation. For a more comprehensive approach, there's an advanced performance formula that combines Acarian, tonkat ali, fenugreek, nettle root, and citrulline to support erections, stamina, testosterone levels, and prostate health. Both are backed by clinical research, and many men start noticing real differences within 2 to 4 weeks. I'll drop the links in the comments and in the video description for you. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I mean that. Every single one of you who watches, who comments, who shares your stories, you're part of something that matters. You're helping break down the stigma around men's sexual health, especially for older men who've been told that this part of life is supposed to just fade away. It doesn't have to. Not if you stay curious, not if you keep exploring. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves, gentlemen.